I think the message in our chat was that she's sending ads to this page. My assumption is going to be that there's a lot more context for people coming through the ads, but without seeing those ads, it's a little bit trickier. I'm going to just go ahead and assume that it's talking about baby courses, right? Like how to help parents, or how parents can be helped putting their kids to sleep. That being said, I don't think it ever hurts to just reinforce that here. So award-winning online courses, but online courses that do what, right? So like even if somebody forgot the ad that they just saw, right? Somebody started talking to them after they clicked the ad and they chatted and they're like, what the heck did I click? I forgot. Assume that everyone has the attention span of goldfish, because we do. So one is just reinforce exactly what's happening here. So there's no confusion. There's no room for anyone to land on this page and say, wait, what courses am I looking at? And similarly to what we were just talking about, like use design to help emphasize what you want people to read. So they're coming here. This might not be as interesting to them right now, but you'll make it interesting. That would be great. But then they have the choice between watching a video. A lot of people don't watch videos, especially right away, especially when they're not bought in yet too. So then they're going to say, okay, well, my next option is to read this text. But these are 3 paragraphs of text. So we always recommend using bold to really call out what the most important parts of this little section are. So in here, I haven't read it, but this I assume might be the most important, or this one, either one of these two, right? Full of actionable advice and guidance to give you confidence in creating a routine and having a more settled night's sleep. Great. Same thing with this. This actually might be even better, step-by-step. So perfect. I can land on this page and that's what it is. Then really quick before I kind of go into mobile, again, using those same principles, looking at this, it's like a lot of people are going to skim. And so they're going to hit this page, you'll update it. And so it'll tell me what it is. Then I'll know more what it is here. Great, it's won awards. Perfect, I'm starting to trust it. Choose a course and get started today. This might be a little bit premature, no pun intended, for this kind of call out. You probably want them to understand what they're choosing to get started first, which I think you have here, but it's overwhelming, right? It's just a big block of text that I don't know if I want to look at or read right now, depending on where I am in life. You know, am I on the T? I'm in Boston, sorry. Am I on the subway and I'm, reading something? Am I like taking a break from work? What am I doing? I'm not positive. So, and you're not positive what they're doing. So try to make this as simple and easy for people, no matter what situation they might be. Then when you come here again, like I think a title could help. And my assumption is that these are sleep courses that are available, but maybe just make that dumb proof, idiot proof. So choose what sleep course might fit you best. Great, now I know what I'm looking at. Made for infants from 0 to 5 months. So just add more context to all of these titles. I think that the text overlays on these pictures are awesome. That allows me to see really quickly, what age group, and like, I guess I would know what age my kid is, but maybe I can just match even faster to what they look like. Parenting courses. So this is new. One thing I would think about is if you're running ads to this, do you want to drive them off in looking at other courses? You're kind of adding to the number of choices and decisions they have to make. I might not recommend that. I would generally recommend adding like one primary goal. So your primary goal is to get them to sign up for one of these sleep courses. If that's not the case, then I would kind of approach this page pretty differently from the top. Right? Is make the whole thing about parenting courses and give them kind of a wider range. It's kind of like a collections page, but you need to educate them more. You need to give them more information up front on what the different options are so that they can kind of self-select. That's a little bit more complex. So I would actually, if I were you, I would start by just segmenting out, make this like a sleep courses top page. Same thing for down here, right? I don't really know. Ryan, I would love your thoughts on this actually too. These like bars that are serving as titles, my eyes kind of skip past them, to be honest, because they to me, they feel more like divider lines. So like I know that there's text there, but my eyes don't immediately try to comprehend what's there. I kind of just say, okay, this is a divider, so now I should go to this next section. So it could be interesting just taking these out of the dividers and having real titles. What do you think about that, Ryan? Does it affect you the same way or no? Because that could just be a cognitive problem.
No, I agree. Just making it feel like a normal, headline kind of built into the page. It kind of reads like a different section altogether. And I'm especially on mobile, I'm imagining when you size this down, it's going to be, white, blue, white, blue, white, blue. It kind of messes up the visual rhythm of the page. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes it seem separate from the paragraph content. So I would just take those out of the divider
Yeah.
lines and make them black like the normal text.
I agree with you. And actually, to Ryan's point, like looking at it on mobile, which is probably most of your traffic, I'll switch over to this now since we're here. This actually competes with the button, right? And like that's absolutely not what you want it to do. You want to make sure that the eyes are drawn to the buttons. The white on light pink is also maybe not the best choice. Like try black on that one. I know that sometimes accessibility, check it out, but what we've actually found using the accessibility checkers is oftentimes black on a background color is technically accessibility approved, and it's better for comprehension. So just check it. There's a website that I can find and send over your way afterwards, but make sure that it's easy to read. When I hover over it, before I did this, it seemed to change color. Maybe you just use the other colors because those seemed more contrast heavy. For this, I would definitely try to use mobile images. Assuming again that your traffic is mostly from mobile. I can't see anything, right? And most people are not going to take the time to zoom in, on their phones. Use mobile images instead. You have a mobile picture right here, so just for mobile, just use that here. You can also call out that desktop and tablet are available, but if audience is on mobile, use a mobile image and then make sure they can see the details so that you're actually utilizing the content there. Having FAQs is great. I would up the font size a little bit down here as well. Testimonials is awesome. I would think about maybe getting some sprinkled in a little bit higher up on the page. And then again, like one CTA, one main goal. I know that this is a site-wide page, so it's not necessarily a landing page. I would think about just either duplicating this and creating a landing page and stripping out these other goals, stripping out, all the other courses, or just creating a dedicated landing page that you're sending ads to instead. I think coming back to the top, some of this info is repeated, especially on mobile. It's not as evident on desktop, but you have 0 to 5 months here, and then you have 0 to 5 months again here. There's probably a better utilization of these titles, so you're not just saying the same thing stacked. Maybe you can give a little bit more context instead of the 0 to 5 months, or maybe you just say this in a new way for newborns, or I'm not, so I actually don't know what the stages would be called, but there's probably a good name to help moms figure out or dads figure out what those stages could be. And yeah, same thing up here. So Ryan, anything else that you want to add and I can drive for you?
Yeah, I think the big thing that stuck out to me was right at the beginning when you're talking about the H1, like way up at the top. I think making this feel more tailored to like what the actual content and the benefits of these courses are, rather than just saying like award-winning online courses and like for some reason the word online courses just feels gross to me, particularly in a niche like this where so much of it is based on like trust. And I mean, if you're going to buy something like this and trust to like do those methods with your child, probably make it seem, I don't know, a little bit more authoritative, a little bit more, emotionally appealing than just buy our online courses. So even just taking some of the content out of that first paragraph, I think some of the stuff that you said could be bolded. Just make that the headline and make it a little more tailored to the content itself. And the other thing, if you want to scroll down to that, like that call outs section that was too hard to read on mobile.
Yeah, one thing I just noticed too, Ryan, is when I went to mobile for this, that whole top section is not even on.
No, interesting.
So I would think about maybe reintroducing it because this feels, again, kind of sudden. Like if I were just to drop on this, maybe it's more intuitive because if the ad is talking about sleep courses and then I hit this and it says sleep courses again, but then there's not really like more education. I would kind of defer to giving them a little bit more education. So giving them a hero section, giving them some of the primary bullet points or giving them some of the primary benefits, and then giving them kind of the selection of sleep courses.
Regardless, keeping it the same on desktop and mobile. I see more pages than you would expect where people are like hiding and showing things between desktop and mobile. And then that skews a lot of your results. Even if you do have like, so disproportionately more mobile traffic than desktop
Right.
traffic, even 10% of your traffic is still valid. And they're seeing different content altogether.
Yeah, unless you're like setting up your tests for specifically those devices, which I'm assuming most people are not. Yeah, it's gonna be really hard. I agree. So yeah, just keeping it consistent, like Ryan said. Okay, so which section, Ryan? Down here?
Oh, the that call out section with you couldn't read the text on mobile. It was like all those screen photos. It was below this section.
Oh yeah. Yep. Okay.
There it is. I don't know how you feel about this, Kanika, but I see this convention a lot in D2C too, where it's like calling out, product features. And I kind of have a vendetta against them because almost never are they executed well on mobile, just for this reason, right? You can't really see what's on the screens. It's hard to read that text inside of the content or inside of those content bubbles. So if you're going to do it, definitely design different versions of it for desktop and mobile where at call it 380 400 pixels wide you can read all of that text, and that might require you to do a different layout altogether just to make everything readable. But I would say you could very easily send that same message in a like an icons with descriptions type of design where you're not necessarily having to like shoehorn these arrows into it. I just think it's a lot easier to execute. It's a lot easier for people to get the information out of that section of the page instead of having unreadable text.
Yeah, I tend to agree with like these call out arrows, like either, which is a lot more work, like Ryan said, is either have two different versions for desktop and mobile. I do think like for courses, it is a great idea. And when we've done this for people who do courses, to show what the course looks like on the device itself. But to Ryan's point, you don't need to use the arrows then, right? Like maybe underneath it, you either do little icons or you just do like a bullet list, and that could be super simple. But showing the content is solid, but making sure that it's readable across devices is way more important than honestly either of those things.